After finishing my cancer treatment, I wanted to celebrate in a big way. It makes sense, right? You just went through this really difficult treatment, and it's important to mark that huge milestone. For me, that meant a family trip to Disney. Sitting in that chemo chair, I just kept thinking about how I wanted to go someplace warm, and that made me really happy. For me, that's Disney World. But going to the Disney parks are a big undertaking. So to do them when you're feeling unwell, not 100%, and still recovering from cancer, well, that's tricky if you don't do it right. So in this video, I'm showing you 9 tips on how to do Disney after cancer. As a cancer survivor and a mom of 2 kids, I wanted to make sure I was there for all of the fun. I didn't want to go through all the effort of getting to Disney, but then have to miss out on part of the fun because I was just too tired. So here are the ways on how you can tackle Disney in a more manageable way. After cancer, you likely expected to bounce back to normal, but that didn't happen. It's nearly impossible to bounce back after you've gone through chemo, surgery, radiation. Plus, you might be on long-term cancer therapy like hormone blockers or immunotherapy, and those have side effects too. It can be frustrating because honestly, you deserve to have your life back. But even after cancer treatment is done, it still has a really strong hold on both you physically and mentally. So let's use these 9 tips to make your Disney trip the most magical ever. Starting with tip 1, pack high protein snacks. It seems obvious to pack snacks, right? But you need to get more specific on this one. High protein snacks are gonna help keep you and your family feeling fuller for longer. Plus, these are long days at the park. You need to be able to sustain your energy. Protein is a long-term nutrient. This means it takes a long time to break down and digest. And this is gonna give you a slow and steady supply of energy. Compared to carbohydrates, things like popcorn, churros, or pretzels, well, they result in a spike in your energy and then a crash. And you can see I'm hinting at a problem here. So many of those classic Disney treats, well, they're high in carbohydrates. It's tough to find something that's high in protein. So pack your snacks to fill this void. This is something like low-fat cheese sticks or a protein bar. With a little bit of preparation, this tip is gonna help keep you feeling fuller and full of energy for a longer time so you can stay at the park and enjoy. Okay, but on to tip number 2, stretch before and after you go to the park. This may sound silly, but you're going to thank me for this later. The days you spend at Disney are gonna have you walking around 20,000 steps. Plus you're carrying a bag or you're carrying a kid. This is physical labor. You're going to need to care for your body before and after you go to the park. Be sure to stretch out your muscles before and after your day at Disney to make sure your recovery is easier and you can go again the next day. Okay, but on to tip number 3. Use a travel agent to book your trip. The cost of a travel agent is so reasonable, and you usually end up saving money because of the specific deals and offers that they get access to. At first, I thought, I can plan this trip by myself, you know? I mean, how hard could it be? Some flights, hotel, Disney tickets. But then there became a lot of questions. What type of tickets? What about meal plans? How about transportation to and from the airport? How are we gonna get to the park? When I started to feel overwhelmed and stressed about our trip, well, I turned to a Disney travel agent, and she knew about some of the best and most exclusive things to do at Disney. The things that are must-dos and the things to totally leave off your list. It was a total stress relief. She did it all, and we ended up seeing parts of Disney that we would have totally missed. I'll link up the travel agent that I use below. She is a complete Disney dream maker. Okay, but next is tip number 4. Make Disney restaurant reservations. If you plan to eat at Disney, make your reservations ahead of time. This is a must. It's really easy to do this on the Disney app, and the cancellation policy is really reasonable. You can cancel the same day with only a few hours notice, and there's no penalty. We always made lunch reservations, so we had some place to sit that was quiet and we could take a minute to breathe. Some place that was out of the sun or the wind that we could relax and recharge. Make sure you take a look at the menus ahead of time so you can go through, pick what looks healthy and appetizing to you to be strategic about how you're gonna fuel your day at Disney. Fueling your energy is so important. A triple negative breast cancer thriver that I work with loves Disney. She has been to Disney more times than she can even count. So she tipped me off to a lot of healthy eating options at Disney that are perfect for cancer thrivers. Her favorite place to eat is the Hollywood Brown Derby at Hollywood Studios. Their famous Cobb salad is so delicious. Plus, you can add chicken or shrimp for more protein. This restaurant also has a lot of really good fish options, which are great for cancer survivors. Knowing you have a reservation and reviewing the menu will make sure that you have good and healthy options to eat during the day. You'll know you have the options to choose from. If you don't have a reservation at the park, then it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the number of options and sometimes the long wait times. Even the restaurants in the surrounding areas from the park can have a really long wait time at peak hours. Okay, but this next tip is something that cancer survivors typically mess up. Tip number 5 is to eat a high protein breakfast before you go to the park. When people say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, well, that's true, at least for cancer survivors. By eating a high protein breakfast, you're gonna have more energy throughout the day. This is also gonna stimulate your metabolism and help to lower or get rid of those long chemo symptoms. Symptoms like joint pain, weight gain, or exhaustion. You can try high protein options like oatmeal with protein powder mixed in. Or you can try protein pancakes or an egg white omelet. Those would all be really good options to get your day started. Making sure you add this to your day will set you up for success, not failure. If you're someone who commonly skips breakfast or just has coffee, then stop that right now, especially before a day filled with walking, exercise, and sunshine. A high protein breakfast is gonna help you have the best day at Disney while also kickstarting your cancer recovery. Okay, but on to tip number 6, and this one you do not want to forget. Bring water. Walking around Disney, you're going to be getting in a ton of steps. Depending on the weather, you could feel really dehydrated. Bring a reusable water bottle with you. Throughout the parks, there are water fountains and designated spots to refill your bottle. Being dehydrated is super tough on your energy, and you're going to want to avoid that. Okay, but next up is tip number 7. Go to the live shows at Hollywood Studios. This is a tip that not everyone thinks about, but let me tell you, this helped our family a lot. Hollywood Studios is filled with live shows. Frozen Sing-Along, Lightning McQueen, Indiana Jones, The Muppets. When we fit these into our day, it allowed us to get off of our feet, be inside somewhere temperature controlled, and allowed us to recharge before we started again. This is a plan to work in rest time so you can have sufficient energy to last all day. Okay, next is tip number 8, have snacks while you wait in line. On average, a big portion of your day is likely gonna be standing in line or waiting. This is a great time to pull out some snacks from your bag. Make sure you're getting enough calories and enough energy to last the day. Some of my favorite snacks to include are veggie sticks, protein bars, and wraps. These can all be prepared ahead of time. So the morning you go to Disney, you can grab them out of the fridge, throw them in your bag, and you're ready to go. Plus, you can avoid waiting in yet another line waiting for food. Okay, but on to tip number 9, and this is probably the most important, so do not forget this. Enjoy yourself. Going to Disney with family or friends, well, it's meant to be fun, and so is life after cancer. So if you feel like a churro or a Mickey ice cream, have it. Don't be afraid to indulge and enjoy yourself. Life is all about balance. And yeah, although we do need to be conscious of the food choices and the health choices we make, we also want to have fun. This does not mean you need to give up entire food groups completely. So do not stress when your kids or your grandkids want to share a sweet treat with you, or your friends want to try a delicious dessert at the park. This is a once in a lifetime memory. Go for it. Okay, but with these tips, I guarantee you're gonna have the best time at Disney World after cancer. Okay, so now that you know how to do Disney after cancer, the next thing that you need to know are good fast food options for cancer survivors. Yes, that's right. These are my top fast food picks for cancer survivors. I've linked up the video here for you, so click the link here and I'll see you in there.